Alright, YouTube. Obama's starting to act sanctimonious again. He, in an interview, said that if he was running in 2016, that he would have reached the necessary number of voters to win the election. He said that if he was running, he would beat Donald Trump in the election. Now, I don't buy this. Bernie Sanders may have had a chance, but Obama wouldn't have. And why is this? Because Bernie Sanders, when it comes down to it, this election was a nationalist and populist election. It would have been nationalism, Trump, versus populism, Bernie. And I think in the end, Trump would have won. However, this campaign was against the establishment. And not just the establishment, but against Obama, a third term Obama, which would be Hillary. It's hard to give credence to the belief that Obama would have won. I know his ego allows him to perceive that people really like him. I think in his mind he thinks that he would have won, but that's because he's a narcissist. And in narcissist minds, they always think they're better than everyone else. So, this is becoming an issue. It really shouldn't be, though. Like, the mainstream media, I guess Fox News is mostly playing this, that Obama thinks he's better than Trump, which we know Obama thinks that. Obama has always thought he's better than everybody. I don't think this should be covered as significant as it is, especially by Fox News. Seems like every other episode of Fox News, every other news anchor that's on, brings up this comment, and I do agree with him that the comment should not have been said by Obama. He wants people to try to placate him. He wants people to really bow down to him like, yeah, Obama, you're right. You're right. You would have beat Trump because people really follow you. People really respect you. People really care about what you think. And I think Obama wants people to embellish him. Obama wants people to really try to express their loyalty for his progressive ideologies and for his progressive policies. But the foundation of his claims just aren't there. If Obama was so great, then Obama's successor, his third term, Hillary Clinton, would have won. And it has nothing to do with Hillary being under investigation by the FBI. The media made that seem like she forgot to cross her T's and dot her I's on one piece of paper, one piece of parchment. It had more to do with the disavowing, with a denouncement of progressive ideologies. It had nothing to do with Russia, as they're saying now. Let's say that Russia was involved in helping Trump. Russia was involved, which provided copious amount of support for Donald Trump. Well, was Russia also responsible for the many, many victories of local and state levels, also with Democrats, Republicans, and nationally, from the House to the whole Congress, to the state House, to the state chambers, both sides, to governors? Was Russia really that influential that they were able to manipulate people's thoughts and emotions to such a degree that the whole country swings to the right? Or is it different than that? Is that maybe the country is sick of Obama's pendulum? When Obama came office, he said he was going to fundamentally change America. Maybe they're sick that pendulum went way to the left. So now they want to vote to bring it back in the center. But what's going to happen is that same pendulum is going to swing way too far to the right. We have to make sure, by we I mean as a people and Trump's cabinet members, that Trump does not swing that pendulum so far right that come next time a liberal or progressive or Democrat is in office, they bring that pendulum all the way back. I know Glenn Beck discussed that once before, and Glenn Beck, I have a Pizzagate video out on him where he discusses what he thinks Pizzagate is, and he is absolutely incorrect about his assessment of it. He's preaching and quoting the wrong conspiracy, but I did hear that on his radio show. I do listen to his radio show on occasion, and he does talk about this pendulum aspect, and I have to agree with him with it. I have to agree with him that it's a pendulum, and Obama took it so far left, and now the right thinks we have to take it so far right. But we have to be careful with that. The right has to be careful that they don't overdo it, because when a Democrat gets in office next time, they're going to take it even further left. Maybe they might take it to Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders left, God forbid. Which I maintain, as of now, Elizabeth Warren is going to be the chosen candidate to run against Trump in 2020 for the progressives and the liberals and the leftists. Not really for the Democrats. Democrats are more central, whereas liberals are more to the left of Democrats, but not really progressives. Progressives and leftists, I consider the same thing. Those are the Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren supporters. Elizabeth Warren, she's at the right age where she would run against Trump. People already love her anyways because of her repeated efforts of denigrating Trump and attacking Trump. And I think that they're going to look for her as a rallying point to disavow Trump. Do I think it's going to work? No, because when it comes down to it, Elizabeth Warren is a fraud. She is a fraud because she says she's a Native American heritage. However, when two members, I believe the Cherokee tribe, came down to visit her and they were going to offer their DNA for a match because they can compare using DNA characteristics, she declined to do the DNA test. And then she changed her background information, her ethnicity on her Harvard application, on her background file. She changed it to white after those two Cherokee women came down and offered to test their DNA to see if they replicate each other, to see if they can match each other. So right there alone, when you claim you're of a certain race, and when two people of that race come down to compare their DNA, then you don't want to do it, and then you right away change your ethnicity from Native American to white, it's safe to say that you are a fraud. That you were claiming a fraudulent ethnicity for whatever reason. Maybe you want to get more support. Maybe you wanted more benefits. Affirmative action. I don't know. I don't know why she did it. But she's trying to make herself seem, Elizabeth Warren, make herself seem like she's a commoner. But really, she's more affluent than most of the people in Congress. She's a millionaire. Look at her buildings. Look at her houses. So, I do find it interesting. And I think that if they really elect Elizabeth Warren, the DNC does, which the progressives are going to want to. DNC, the Democrats, the centralists, I don't know. But if they do, that would be very interesting to watch. Barring if Trump does decide to run for election in 2020. He might not. Either he might do a really shitty job and he says, you know what, I'm out, I don't want to do this, Mike Pence, you can have it. Or maybe he does a really good job and he does, and it's like, all right, I did my 4 years, I'm done, I'm going to go live out the rest of my life in retirement. It all depends. But if he does decide to run in 2020, and Elizabeth Warren does, you know there would be a lot of fireworks on that. A lot of fireworks. Because both of them, Elizabeth Warren and Donald Trump, both of them are very bellicose by nature. And bellicose means they're eager to fight. Both of them are fighting for different reasons. Trump wants to fight for the nationalist movement. Elizabeth Warren wants to fight strictly for the progressive movement. She doesn't care about people to the right of her. She only cares about what she believes is correct, and that is the progressive ideology. Whereas Trump, he believes more of a nationalist movement. It doesn't matter what party you're in for Trump. You could be progressive, you could be a right-winger, hardcore right-winger. It doesn't matter. What he wants to do is allow the country to prosper. To him, it doesn't matter what political affiliation you are with. It doesn't matter what political party you are working with. It doesn't matter. He wants to make the country great. Elizabeth Warren, she wants to make it great, but only on strict stipulations, and that is regarding the progressive movement, Bernie Sanders movement, leftist movement. Maybe she might go towards the center more to get that kind of centralist support, that main democratic support, that backbone. But when it comes down to it, I believe she will mostly lean to the far left, and that could inhibit, and that may impede her chance of becoming the nomination, the DNC nomination of 2020. Either way, though, it'd be fun to watch. But this all comes back to Obama when I started. Obama thinking he would have won the third term. And it's not true because 70% of people said the country's on the wrong track. And Hillary Clinton was a status quo candidate. So Obama wouldn't be able to run on, well, I'm here, I'm going to change the economy. Well, you haven't for the last 8 years. How do you plan to do it now? Well, I'm going to make things better. Well, you haven't for the last 8 years. How do you plan it now? So Obama is he's just tooting his narcissistic horn. He has to get his attention, his ego up there because he knows his legacy is going to be dismantled. So he is systematically manipulating his cognitive reasoning here to make it seem that, well, if he could have ran, he would have won. Because he is, in fact, fundamentally different than Hillary Clinton. And where she failed, he would succeed because Obama is a success story. And his legacy will be a success in the history books, just like his good pal Fidel Castro. And I'm done.